Hello, and welcome to Timelines Made Easy. Timelines are a great way to organize important events from the past into one place. You may have already worked with some of them in the past, but do you really know how they work? After this video, you will be a timeline expert. Let's get started and go all the way back to 2000 BC. You learned about this culture in the 6th grade. Does anyone know what BC stands for? If your guess was before Christ, you are correct. Great work. To find out what the origins of the terms AD and BC, we need to fast forward all the way 2,500 years to around 500 AD. We already know that BC stands for before Christ. Would anyone like to take a shot at guessing what AD stands for? If you said after death, you would be wrong, although many people make this same mistake. AD is actually a Latin term, meaning Anno Domini, or, roughly translated, the year of our Lord. You can see here this monk, whose name I cannot pronounce, invented this term, Anno Domini, in 525 AD. It literally translates to in the year of our Lord. So 600 AD means in the year of our Lord, 600. In 1582, Pope Gregory XIII introduced the Gregorian calendar to most of the world. This used the terms BC and AD. So at this point you might be asking yourself, what's up with BCE and CE? I see them on some timelines, on others I see AD and BC. I'm glad you asked that question. You see, people from other religions felt that it was a little bit unfair to use the terms before Christ and in the year of our Lord because it didn't represent their religious beliefs. After a lot of debate, historians agreed keep the Christian calendar dates, but change the religious terms. Rather than BC and AD, they changed the terms to BCE, or before the Common Era, and CE for the Common Era. Let's take a look at some examples of important dates. In the year 1500 BCE, that's before the Common Era, or year 0, the Jews fled Egypt and what later became known as the Exodus. In the year 1000 BCE, David became King David after defeating Goliath. You can see him there with his slingshot. And here we see in the year 44 BCE, or before the Common Era, Julius Caesar was assassinated on the Ides of March. And finally, 1492 CE, Common Era, also known as AD, Columbus landed in the Americas. And now one final note about centuries, because these can get a little bit confusing. Since there was no 0 century, the year 1 CE is considered the 1st century, just as the year 15 BCE is considered the 1st century BCE. Whatever the year, the century will always be one number higher than that. For example, the year 1215 CE, or AD, is actually the 13th century. Or when people say the 1800s, you would say the 19th century. That's the reason why we say that we are living in the 21st century, even though the year is in the early 2000s. Now that you have watched Timelines Made Easy, you are ready to use your knowledge to understand the world better. Thank you for watching.